What's up, folks? This is Crypto with James talking to you today about the crypto news. There's been a few bits and bobs that have come out in the last sort of couple of days that I just wanted to go through, really. Some that are all of them are really bullish. All of them. So I'm going to run through all of that news. Before I do, I always update my spreadsheet. The first 26 coins I spoke about on the channel that I thought would smash it in this bull cycle. Had you invested $100 into each one when I released my videos, and you're still holding those bags, you'd be in profit for $64,500. Add in your 2,600, you're sitting on $67,100. Phantom leads the way. It's up 426 times from when I did the Udemy course last year. I've held all of these at one point or another. Closed positions on damn near all of them in profit. Never Grin. Grin's always been a disappointment. Tech not, but the price very much so. And I've reinvested all that money into new cryptos. If you want to see the cryptos I'm in, check out Copy My Crypto. It's where I share my live portfolio, not only my thoughts on the current holdings, but what I expect to do in terms of price movement across the weeks, the days. The coins in the portfolio have massively outperformed the market week in, week out. And the smaller cap coins, a couple of the smaller cap coins that provide some really interesting opportunities in terms of very quick profits. If you want to make these gains and build your wealth before the bear cycle, which is coming, guys, make no mistake, this bull cycle won't last forever. And when the bear cycle kicks in, that's when wealth is truly created. I found Phantom during a bear cycle, which is why it was a 426x now. So if you want to make the gains, build your wealth before the bear cycle, check it out, because I'll be going through some gems during that bear cycle, I tell you. Right. Bitcoin sitting strong at 55k. Not really too much price movement. Shiba Inu, I think, has done a nice rally again in the last 24 hours, like another 12%. BitTorrent, interestingly, up about 12% as well. Generally, the market is just looking, pretty decent. Nothing major in terms of moves. Currently sitting at $2.3 trillion. Now, in terms of recent news, we'll run through. Probably start with the biggest, in my opinion, which is Ripple has scored a huge win against the SEC. Now, the case isn't over. I'm not suggesting that. But they basically have pushed for finding out additional about the documents the SEC have had previously to all of this FUD regarding Ripple. So Judge Sarah Netburn ruled in favor of Ripple's request, and will be adding documents and the email chain to the camera to the in-camera review. So what she said is defendant's request is granted. The SEC shall submit the 2 documents related to the SEC's meetings with law firms and the email chain for in-camera review, along with a submission explaining its privilege assertions for each of those documents no later than Friday next week. SEC shall file a redacted version of its submission on the public docket. Defendant's response is due no later than the following Friday. Now, obviously, this is quite big news. So what has essentially happened is Ripple found out about an email chain between the SEC and a third party that effectively they believe proves Hinman's 2018 speech wasn't a personal opinion, but was in fact the SEC's policy. And you remember, he was very, very, very clear on what he thought a security was, and he did not define cryptocurrencies as a security. So Ripple's attorneys are placing the SEC between 2 options. Its official view on digital assets, including Hinman's speech, are only personal opinions, which means there is no deliberative process privilege case to be made, or its official views were policy, there is a DPP case to be made, but Hinman's speech and other officials' views can be used as evidence against the SEC in the lawsuit. Either way, it's a fairly dramatic hit for the SEC. This is pretty much the SEC's last chance, and it looks pretty bleak for them. We could see within a week, within 2 weeks, this case disappearing. It's a major, major hit. So bodes very, very well for any the XRP army, as it were, because it's showing that there is no consistency within the SEC, and there's no and this investigation into Ripple was either came from people's opinions based on what Ripple is or what XRP is or Ripple is, or they just didn't know their own policies. Either way, it highlights a really poor level of communication and a poor level of understanding within the SEC. So it bodes very, very well. Very, very well. In other news, the SEC approved the closest thing to a Bitcoin ETF you can buy for now. Now, this is to do with companies. Basically, you can purchase... It's a fund where you can purchase companies or shares in in a number of companies that are invested in Bitcoin. Because there is an issue with regards to institutions. A lot of institutions can't actually directly get into Bitcoin. But this is the sort of way that they can. So they can now get into Bitcoin by investing in the companies that have Bitcoin on their books. So your MicroStrategy or Tesla. So again, this is something that, while it's not the ETF necessarily that everyone wants to see, it's a step in the right direction. And it's an opportunity for, like I say, institutions that are unable, for whatever laws are in their state or for whatever restrictions that they have in terms of investments or legislative restrictions that they have. This is a way for them to get exposure. So it does increase the interest in Bitcoin once again. And it's certainly not small news. George Soros also confirmed that he owns Bitcoin. He said the family owns some Bitcoin, but not a lot. But it'll be interesting to see what his version of not a lot is. Now, they're renowned for making large profits on normal currency investments. And he said, I'm not sure that Bitcoin is only viewed as an inflation hedge here. I think it's crossed the chasm to mainstream. I think we're pretty close. I think there's most people know about Bitcoin. Beyond that, I think your average person doesn't still. But he went on to obviously talk about the fact that there's $2 trillion in the market value now, or over, and there's 200 million users worldwide. Now again, 200 million, when you factor that in out of a global population of around 7.5 billion, is it 7.5, 8? What's it now? What's the global population? But it's still minuscule amounts. 200 million users sounds great, but think how early everyone is still. Everyone that's watching this is so early. But yeah, so it's so again, it's just it's a major fund investor who's renowned for success and renowned as one of the biggest around, talking about the fact that he believes that he not only owns Bitcoin, but that cryptocurrency has crossed the chasm to mainstream. It's obviously very positive. In other news as well, Coinbase have added support for 3 Ethereum based altcoins across their entire trading ecosystem. So you've got so what they've done is they've got a governance token called Function X, which is designed to power a cross-chain platform for dApps and financial services that can be purchased on Coinbase, and that went up about 83% over the week. Obviously, we traced since. They've also added Wrap Centrifuge, which is just a token that mirrors the price of Centrifuge. And that's actually up like 9.6% across the week, not as much as you would have thought. And they've also expanded support for the crypto asset Jasmy, which is creating IoT platforms. Jasmy's up nearly 200% across the week. All of them have had retracements over the last couple of days or the last day or so, which is inevitable. It's like what we saw with Shiba Inu quite recently. Like I know it's running again today, but at about 30% retrace the day before because it had ran so well. And you have to know this, like these coins can't just run forever. They're going to have a retrace, and that's part and parcel of it. But it's nice to see Coinbase adding some like DeFi based Ethereum altcoins to their ecosystem. It just grows the crypto space. It's always good. The other two bits are to do with Polkadot. Polkadot formed the Golden Cross. Golden Cross is obviously a pretty positive, it's sort of a lagging indicator, but it's a signal that things are about to go very, very nicely. We saw that with Bitcoin not that long ago. So there is potential for sort of a 48% boost in terms of price for Polkadot, according to FX Street. But Polkadot, we're sort of waiting. The Golden Cross and the momentum within the market, that's all great. What realistically is going to push Polkadot is when parachains start coming out. We saw with Kusama, about 15% of the overall supply of Kusama is now gone out of circulation because people committed that to the parachain auctions. So that's all gone for a year, basically. So it'll be interesting to see how many people how much Polkadot is committed to their parachains. Because bear in mind as well, the slots on Polkadot, like the maximum slot length, that is, but they're 2 years. So you could see a ton of Polkadot committed to those parachain auctions and then out of circulation for 2 years. And when that happens, fundamentally, huge drop in supply. Even if you call it even if it matches Kusama 15%, all of a sudden 150 million Polkadot are out of the circulating supply. That price is going to rise. That will be the biggest instigator of price movement for Polkadot. But that's obviously good news. And the last one, Stellar. Stellar and Cardano are showing the power of college partnerships. Literally loaded this. There we go. Stupid thing. So Stellar and Cardano have initiatives linking foundations and universities to broaden the base of crypto development. Now, this is something that we knew was going to be around the corner for a lot of cryptos, particularly the bigger ones. So right now, Ripple's got a university blockchain research initiative, which has partnerships with like 30 of the biggest universities in the world. Stellar's Development Foundation now works directly with academic programs around the world. And Cardano has started with, where's Cardano? It's gone. It's disappeared on me. Oh, screw it. I just searched Cardano. I can't be bothered. There it is. And yeah, the entity behind Cardano created a 500 grand endowment from IOHK. And it supports 6 graduate students and a similar number of undergrad researchers. Again, not as widespread Cardano as the others, but they've got academics throughout. Like the one thing we know about Cardano, and part of the reason that they've been what we would say is slow in terms of getting out the gates, is because everything is done. The whole team effectively are academics, so they do things with completely thoroughly, which is a great thing, but it does result in slow movement. But yeah, so right now you've got Ripple, Stellar, and Cardano that are really pushing with university with universities in terms of developing the next developers of blockchain tech. And that's where all of these cryptos, particularly, like your Ethereum should have something set up with universities in every country, the top universities down to the middle ground universities, because you want the brightest coming out of university, those developers, to be straight onto blockchain. You don't want them hesitating and wondering, oh, should I go to a Fortune 500 company? No, you want innovation coming. So again, really good to see. Overall, like I said, the market's looking bullish. Big news with SEC finally taking a public hit. We've been hearing a lot about that SEC stuff for a while. Everyone I've spoken to, and a number of people within banking have been very, very confident that that's the SEC are going to lose that. So it looks like it's coming to fruition. So it's interesting. But yeah, market's looking hot. Even with the sort of flat day, the market is looking very, very positive. And Monday could be well and truly another day where the market kicks into gear again. We start seeing double-digit percentage gains across the board. But we will see. Anyway, that's it from me. Hope you're all keeping very, very, very well on this lovely weekend. I wonder how many of you are going to be watching the boxing tonight. Fury's going to win. Anyway, that's it from me. If you're new to crypto, check out Copy My Crypto. Like I said, it's where I share my portfolio. The one I've built that maximizes gains during the bull cycle. The one I've built that has absolutely crushed the market week in and week out. My holdings continue to grow, way outperforming the market. There's some really, really good opportunities in terms of quick flip investments within it as well. If you want to make these gains in the bull cycle, check it out, guys. That's it from me. Bye bye.